Hello, my name is Keshwani. It's K-E-S-H-W-A-N-I, Keshwani. We are here because we want to learn algebra. Today is our lesson number 11. Day 11. Let's see what we have for today. Let's find the values of the expression x squared plus 3x plus 7 when x is equal to 0, 1, 3 and 5. That's all. So our job here is to find the value of this expression when x assumes the value of 0, 1, 3 and 5. First thing first, we could actually just plug in the values there and be done with it, but let's do it in a proper way, the way it should be done. First thing first, let's give this expression. So that's the problem there. That is what we are asked to do, and here is the solution. The first thing we have to do is, let's give this expression a name. Let's call it tradition dictates, convention dictates. Convention is still here on the blackboard somewhere, right here. Day number 46 we learned it in the vocabulary lessons. The tradition dictates, the convention dictates that since this is expression x, we should call this expression y because it goes in alphabetical order. But if you wanted to call this expression a, or if you want to call this expression, if you want to give it a name, you call it alpha or beta or gamma or monkey or hippo, it won't do any harm. But let's stick with the convention, let's honor the convention. Let's call it y. So that's the name we have given to this expression. So now, since we're calling this expression y, so y equals x squared plus 3x plus 7. Let's find out first thing first. Let's find out the value of this expression when x is 0. How do we write it? This is how it's written. Let's understand what this notation means, how to read it, and what it actually says. I'm going to erase all of this thing. We don't need any of this thing. These are some words we learned yesterday on day number 10. Convention, gratuitous, superfluous, unwittingly, unbeknownst. Let's understand this notation. Let's put it a little bit lower here so we can see it. Y, which is the name of our expression. And then 0 in the parenthesis. Let's first talk about what it means, and then we'll talk about how to read it. What does it mean when you say put y with the parenthesis 0? It doesn't mean y times 0. In this notation, in this context, that's what it is. Just like a language, just like any other language, just like English language or any other language, you have to figure out the meanings of the words from the context, because it's the same word used in a different context may have a different meaning. In this context, what does it mean when you write it like this? In this context, in the context of what we're doing, it doesn't mean y times 0. This means, what we're saying here is, this symbol represents what is the value of the expression y when x equals 0. That's what this represents. So if instead of 0, let's do it in a different colors now, so you can see it here. And it is read as y of 0. This is how it's read, y of 0. If somebody says find y of 0, what they're telling you is that this expression that we are calling y, give me the value of this expression when x happens to be 0. Instead of saying in such a verbose way, I don't know where I can write, where you can read it. The word I just used was verbose. What does it mean to be verbose? This means to be very wordy, using too many words. Let me see if I can find it. I know we learned it. I know I covered it. Verbose. I remember it distinctly. Question is when? What day? Verbose. Day number 16. Well, not if you want to learn it, but go ahead and type in Keshwani Prep dash vocab dash. Oh, I'm not thinking. Just type in Keshwani Prep dash vocab dash day 16 and you will find the word verbose. It just means to be wordy. So again, let me say it in a very verbose way what this symbol means. It says find the value of the expression y, find the value of this expression that we have called y. We have given it a name, we christen it. The word that I just used was christen. What does it mean to christen? Christen is a very simple spelling. You just put down first the Christ and then en at the end. You spell the word Christ and then en at the end, and now it's pronounced christen. What does it mean to christen something? I know I digress a lot. These words come out of nowhere, and I always make a point of making sure. That's too redundant. I always make a point of assuring, or making sure that you understand the meaning of these words. The word was christen. Do you know what it means? To christen something or someone means to give someone or something a name. We were given this expression on the blackboard, and instead of continuing to refer this expression as this expression, mathematicians like to give it a name, just like we like to give it a name. We instead of talking about he, and he, not he, not that one, not he, not that one. We give everybody a name, so it makes it easy to identify people. Just like that, in mathematics, mathematicians like to give names to different things, so it makes it easier in their life. So in this context, because we'll be dealing with this expression for the rest of the problem, we gave it a name. I'm still looking for it, christen. I was talking all this time. That was my way of buying time. Cognizant, consummate, charlatan, connote, curtail, cavalier. Well, it's not here. But I know we covered it. It means to give something a name. It means give something a name. I'll look it up later and I'll give you the date later, day later. So, let's give this expression a name. So we give it a name. We call it y. This y came out of nowhere. As I said, we could have called it z, we could have called it p, we could have called it alpha, beta, gamma, whatever we like. We called it y. So what does this notation say? It says, find the value of this expression that is given to us. Find the value of this expression when x happens to be 0. You see how long that statement was? I'm going to say it one more time, and then I'm going to tell you the same statement as it is expressed by a mathematician. Find the value of this expression. Find the value of this expression that we are calling y when x happens to be 0. That's what this says. Now instead of saying all of that, mathematician will say find y of 0. Find y of 0. That means find the value of the expression. Find the value of the expression y when the variable x happens to be 0. Let's do it. So, it is read as y of 0. Later on, after we finish doing that, we're going to do this. We do it in a different color. The next we have to do this. So now we will speak of, now in this context we'll speak of y of 1. Y of 1 simply means find the value of the expression y, find this value of this expression that we have called y, we have called it y, this expression, find the value of that expression when x happens to be 1. Later on, after we finish doing that, we will do this, now in the blue pen. Then after we finish finding y of 1, we'll find the y of 3. y of 3 means y of 3. Y of 3 means find the value of the expression y when x happens to be 3. And finally, we'll find the y of 5. Right here. Y of 5. Y of 5. So let's first find y of 0, then we'll find y of 1, y of 3, and then y of 5. That's how one speaks. I need the room, I need a lot of room, so I need to erase some stuff. It is read as y of 5. I need to erase this thing. Let's put this back in here so we can see it. Y of 1 means what is the value of y expression when x happens to be 1. Let's do it then one by one. I need a lot of room. I need to erase stuff and I don't know what to erase. Let's start with y of 0. Here is the expression. Y of x is written, which is 3x plus 7. You can just write it as y. You can write this thing simply as y, like this, or you can write it like this. It's the same thing. It doesn't change anything. So y of 0 would be, anywhere we see 0, anywhere we see x, we replace with 0. So 0 squared plus 3 times 0 plus 7. 0 squared is just 0. 3 times 0 is 0. So it is 7. Y of 0 is 7. Let's find y of 1. Let's find y of 1. Y of 1 was the red one right here. Y of 1 would be 1 squared plus 3 times 1. Just replace x by 1 plus 7. And that would equal 1 squared is just 1, 3 times 1 is 1, 3 plus 1 is 4, 4 plus 7 is 11. Now let's find in the blue pen the y of 3. It will be 3 squared plus 3 times 3 plus 7, which will be 9. 3 squared is 9, 3 times 3 is 9, 9 plus 9 is 18, 18 plus 7 would be 25. Finally, we have to find the y of 5 right here, y of 5. So now we go to this expression, we replace x by 5, right here, this expression is what we are evaluating. So x squared will be 5 squared plus 3 times 5 plus 7. X squared, 5 squared is 25, 3 times 5 is 15, 25 plus 15 is 40, so it's 47. That's it. That's all. We found the values of this expression when x is equal to 0, when x is equal to, did I say these expressions? I take it back, I retract that statement. We did not find the values of these expressions. Expression is only one. We found the values of this expression, this one expression, at different values of x. When x is 0, when x is 1, when x is 3, and when x is 5. And we have done so. This is the value of the expression y, this expression that we gave it a name. We said let's give this expression a name, and then we called it y. So the value of the expression y when x is 0 happens to be 7. Value of the expression y when x happens to be 1 happens to be 11. That expression, this expression here, happens to equal to 25 when x happens to be 3. Y of 3 is 25. Value of this expression equals 47 when x happens to be 5. That's what this says. Value of the expression y when x happens to be 5. Now you understand this y is just a name. It has no meaning. We could have called it z, we could have called it p, we could have called it a, b, c, whatever we wanted to. We could give it any name we want. It's up to us to christen it, whatever it is that we want to christen it. And what does it mean to christen? Because I already told you, christen means to give something a name, something or somebody a name. I'm looking for it one more time quickly I am pretty sure, I am 99% sure that we covered it, that I covered it in one of the vocabulary videos. And the reason I'm so certain about it is because I use this word all the time. How is it that I have not covered it? Contain. I'm going to quickly read all the words that we have covered starting with a C if you like. Content or content, comparable, cognizant, cogitate, conversant, consummate, colloquial, charlatan, convoluted, cogent, carte blanche, confluence, contrive, concatenate, candid, cliché, contract, curtail, connote, connotation, curd, comprehension, cavalier, cursory, circumspect, conceited, contiguous, conjecture, capitulate, seed, cupidity. It's not here. It's not here. I'm looking at it. It's not here. But that really surprises me. I will make sure that I cover them in the future, in one of the future videos. But there's quite a few words here that we covered that in our vocabulary lessons is starting with the letter C. Christian is not there. I don't know how that happened. Anyway, I'll see you tomorrow on day number 12 and we'll learn some more algebra. In the meantime, if you wish to get hold of me, you can send me an email from any of these addresses that you see. Alright? Thanks.